Mr. President, why are you losing to Trump in the polls?
Joe Biden with a stunned look on his face. How can they tell? After a car plowed into his presidential motorcade, it happened right outside his campaign headquarters in Delaware. It was accidental, and they charged the driver with a DUI. But that crash is not the only thing rattling the big guy. President Biden reportedly lashing out at his staff over his nose-diving poll numbers. A new report claims that after Biden pardoned the Thanksgiving turkey, he chewed out his underlings over why Americans hate him and his economic message. Speaking of which, 57% disapprove of the job Joe's doing. And Biden's former boss, Barack Obama, is raising concerns that Joe could lose in the 2024 election. At least they weren't carjacked, Dana. I mean, there's always a silver lining.
Well, because the chances are.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, indeed. That was very strange. I also think that the Secret Service, I know they do a great job of protecting everyone, but it did seem like took like 2 beats too long to like throw the president in the car because a good way to have an ambush would be to have something like that happen. Turns out the guy was drunk and is now going to probably have a very hefty legal bill as he tries to fight that. As to the president calling his staffers in after pardoning the turkeys, they probably wanted to get pardoned after that meeting because he does have apparently has a temper. But the way I read the article was not so much that he was mad at them, but that he's concerned that they're not doing anything about it. My concern is for the staffers, because what are they supposed to do? One, they made a big mistake in embracing the phrase Bidenomics. They tried to make that work. It did not work. They must have thought the economy was going great. You could read any mainstream media article about how Americans just seem to not understand how great the economy is. Why don't they feel so good about it? The other thing is, in the recent polls, he's even underwater on an issue like climate change. So even though he's gotten so far to the left, it's never going to be enough for them. And then that has become a vulnerability for him, not just with Democrats, but with independent voters as well. On the Barack Obama thing, if you read the article, it says that a person familiar with Barack Obama's thinking said that he's concerned that Biden could lose. That's really only two possible people. It's either Obama himself saying, you can quote me on the record, a person familiar with my thinking, or it's somebody extremely close to him who said, you have my permission to put this out there.
Right.
So that might be because last week there was these Democrats saying, oh, why aren't you doing anything? You have to get this campaign going. And it might be a way for him to kind of put a log on the fire.
So to speak. We're out of the A block. Enough puns. Katie, this guy was charged with a DUI.
Yeah.
But shouldn't we be sympathetic to his addiction? I mean, maybe he's trying to get his life together.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it were Hunter, they would make that argument. But can you imagine being that guy, like thinking you're just going to get home slowly and you crash into the presidential motorcade in Wilmington, Delaware? Not great for him. But in terms of Biden being upset about his poll numbers, look, he doesn't show up. He doesn't show up for press briefings. He doesn't show up for press announcements. He doesn't sell his own product. He's hardly campaigning. You see all these stories about how the Biden campaign isn't actually doing much in the states where they need to be campaigning really hard. They're taking for granted that they're going to win these swing states, and now new polling shows Trump beating him in pretty much all of these places. They've assumed that these far left mandates would just be accepted, like the electric vehicle mandate, for example, in places like Michigan, because Joe Biden agrees with the working class and is blue-collar Joe from Scranton. None of that's working. And instead of being at the White House working on these things or out in the country really selling them in a genuine, organic way, everything is very calculated and scripted. And he just doesn't show up. And you can't really expect people to be buying your product if you're not the one selling it.
Bidenomics has become Hydenomics.
It's Hydenomics.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jesse, this motorcade accident is an obvious metaphor for his administration, which is why I give it to you. Care to expand on this analogy?
I was going to say that Paul Pelosi's DUI proved that if you're a Democrat who wrecks his car, it doesn't really count. So this guy should be off scot-free with a misdemeanor. It is symbolic of this presidency. And then he's blaming the staff, which I love to do.
Yeah.
I've made it an art form. But you can't blame the staff when you hired the staff. And you can't blame the staff to sell your policies when they're your policies. Katie's right. This guy doesn't get out there in the bully pulpit and sell the policies. First, the policies should sell themselves. But Joe Biden was off today. He was off yesterday. He was off Saturday. He was off Friday. He just took a 4-day weekend. Why do you expect? This thing's going off the rails. He's facing an impeachment inquiry. His son's facing prison time. We got 2 proxy wars. Everything's expensive. And we just set the all-time American records for homelessness, overdoses, and suicides. And he's wondering why things aren't looking so good. Trump is up 3.5 points in the real clear average, Greg. That hasn't happened to a Republican candidate in 20 years, not since Bush in 2004 was up 3.5 over John Kerry. Not McCain, not Romney, not Trump last 2 elections. He's cruising right now. It looks like a landslide if it was held today. Jessica, impossible to refute.
Yes, impossible. Care to refute?
I'm going to give it the old college try. So, Mr. Red Wave of the midterms.
Don't bring that up.
Well, you walked right
Very
into
sore
it.
subject.
You keep giving it to me like on a silver platter. Democrats are feeling down. It's irrefutable right now. And it's the one time that I think actually majority of the pieces that are coming out are actually representing what is going on behind closed doors in these conversations. It doesn't mean that there's some mass exodus. And Mitt Romney was up 5 points on Barack Obama.
Not an election year.
Well, at exactly the same time.
We fact-checked it. How dare you?
No, you did. Well, you need new fact checkers. Johnny, keep your job.
Your brain room.
Okay.
How dare you talk about your own colleagues like that?
Wow, way to blame the staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cardin's blaming the staff.
Ooh.
Oh, geez.
I'm sorry,
We're
continue.
never going to get through it.
So these pieces that are coming out about, the problems with the Phantom campaign, and I saw, like when I was going home from work on Friday, I saw this, big Biden campaign announcement. They named who is going to be heading up the Nevada operation, a state that we absolutely need to win. And more of those are going to happen. But I do understand, and we have so much footage that we show on a daily basis of Joe Biden that he must be out there. He's going to these plants that he's opening. He's talking about what he's done for the Inflation Reduction Act, the Infrastructure Act, et cetera. And if you look at just the headlines of this, with unemployment this low, gas prices going down, progress on inflation, the Dow Jones just busted 2 days in a row of breaking records, and his approval on the handling of the Israel-Hamas war is actually very high. I do think it's his staffers' fault, at least to the point that they are not saying to him, go be yourself, because that's how Joe Biden won in 2020, right? He was the empathetic, nice guy that went over to little kids in the audience and talked to them about their stutters and how he got past his. And
That's the same exact thing that everyone always says. Remember for Obama, when Robert Gibbs said Obama looked so demoralized on the campaign plane. He said, you know what, he just needs to go out and be himself. Then we had the whole thing, let Trump be Trump. And then Biden, I think, it is very different. When he goes out, he is not selling the thing. He actually had to have Zelensky leave the war zone, come to America to try to convince American lawmakers that they should pony up the money because he can't make the sale.
But Zelensky is also desperate to be able to have that opportunity and relishes that opportunity as well. And I would just say that part of what is so upsetting to Joe Biden right now, and I understand it, is he's looking at the other guy, and you say he's up 3.5 points here in the real clear politics average. You're running against a guy who's facing 91 felony counts, who in a rally this weekend says that migrants are poisoning the blood of the country and is calling for a reinstatement of his Muslim ban. Now, I don't want to get into that. Is he actually echoing Hitler? Yeah, a little bit. That's how Hitler talked about Jews with the dirty blood stuff. But the point is that if your campaign was going well, that person would not be anywhere near you in the polls. And that's where the frustration comes from.
Well, he's the worst president we've ever had.
That's just objectively not true.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm going by your logic. If his challenger can say those things and be ahead, he has to be the worst president ever.
No.
Prove me wrong. Where is your data?
It's all over my page.
Coming up next, Los Angeles DA George Gascon taking his radical soft-on-crime agenda to the next level by promoting a far-left crazy who once called cops barbarians.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.